These days, most online ESL companies pay between $10 and $15 per hour. If you're ready to charge your worth and work as a freelance online ESL teacher, in this video I'll show you exactly how I got started and how you can DIY your online teaching setup. The first step to teaching ESL online as a freelancer is to choose a niche. So what is a niche? A niche is a very specific topic. In this way, your students will be able to find you because they'll say, hey, that's the exact English that I need, or I really need help with that specific kind of English. If you say that you offer beginner through intermediate English, that's just too broad. My niche when I started as a freelance teacher was teaching Romance language speakers, so for example, Spanish, Italian, and French speakers, how to prepare for the Cambridge English exams. If you want to choose your niche, you can do this simple exercise. I want you to grab a pen and paper and draw a table so you have two different columns. On one side, I want you to write all of the different kinds of English that you feel confident teaching. So is it business English? Do you really like pronunciation? Do you like teaching grammar? Think of what levels you like to teach. Do you like kids? Do you like adults? And it really depends on you. You are the freelance teacher. You're not listening to anyone else. So go with what you enjoy and you know you are good at. Now, in the second column, you're going to write what you are passionate about teaching. Do you absolutely love to teach writing or reading or vocabulary? Do you enjoy teaching younger ages or lower levels, higher levels? Now, after you have both of these columns filled out, you can see if there's any sort of overlap. And that has become your niche. That is your topic that you can teach. Now, a little extra advice, you do need to do some market research and see if students are actually looking for help in this niche. So if you wanted to teach pronunciation to Japanese speakers, are there actually students that are looking for this? That will require a little bit of extra research. And as an extra tip, if you have any experience in test prep English, medical English, or business English, these niches can be extra lucrative, so I would recommend teaching one of these if you have those skills. Now that you've chosen your niche, it's time to talk about curriculum and teaching materials. If you're a certified teacher and you have lesson planning experience, then I recommend using Canva to create your lesson plan materials and slides and even props if you like to keep costs low. There is a free version of Canva, but when I started out, I started using the free version and quickly upgraded to the pro version because there are extra features that are great, especially when you're trying to market your classes. So if you'd like to try out the pro version of Canva, you can use my link in the description for a free 30-day trial. If you aren't confident at creating your own lesson plans, then you can check out some pre-made curriculum like Crystal Clear English, ESL Pals, and Off to Class. This also will help you from spending hours and hours creating your own materials. So of course there are pros and cons because these ones are going to have a cost to them, but they could save you a lot of time in the long run. Let's talk about a DIY low-cost setup for teaching online. When you get started teaching online, you do need a few basics to get started. You'll need a computer, a webcam, a headset, a microphone, and a nice background. It doesn't matter what brand or kind of equipment you use when you're first starting out because as your business grows, you can always invest in better equipment. So just get started, don't let all of the tech hold you back. In terms of a background, I recommend keeping it simple and clean. A lot of teachers choose to use a simple wall with some accent shelves, or if you're traveling and teaching, or you just have a bit of a messy house, you can always buy a backdrop that you can hang up behind you. This is a great option because then you don't really have to worry about what's behind you. I'll put all sorts of links in the description down below with different equipment and resources that you can use for your online ESL classroom. Something else that's really important for your online ESL classroom is the lighting. If you can position yourself in front of natural light, in front of a window, for example, that's going to be best. And if not, you can always purchase a small ring light or some box lighting. Now, I personally use box lighting because ring lights can kind of give you a bit of a headache, especially if you're spending hours and hours in front of them. So I do like to use a box light because it has a nice diffuser on it. But again, use whatever you have to get started. For my teaching setup, I have this box light right here. I have my laptop, a monitor. Here's my webcam. my headphones, a microphone, and for the background, I just have some simple shelves and a blank wall. So I do have some natural light from that window as well, but this box light is doing most of the work, and here I am on Zoom. So this is what my students see. You'll also need a platform where you can teach your classes. When you're first starting out, I recommend teaching one-on-one classes and using Skype or the free version of Zoom. When you're teaching one-on-one on these platforms, you don't have any time limits. So this is a great way to get started. And then when you're ready, I do recommend using Zoom and paying for the pro version, because if you're trying to teach group classes, you will have some time restrictions. Now that you have your online classroom all set up, you know what your niche is, you have your curriculum, you need some students. And I think this is probably the hardest part about freelance teaching. A lot of teachers get to this point and they just don't know what to do. They don't know where to find students and they give up. So don't give up. I'm going to give you some tips on how to find students for free, because while some teachers might run ads to find students, this isn't very realistic when you're just starting out. So let's look at some free ways to find students to fill up your classes. My first tip is to start an Instagram page. Post helpful tips that would help your target students specifically. Try to do some educational reels to increase your reach. When making your content, always think about what your target students struggle with most and provide valuable tips for them. Use your Instagram bio to say who you teach and what transformation you can offer them. For example, I help Spanish speakers prepare and pass Cambridge English exams. Include a call to action letting your students know how they can contact you. For example, DM to book a lesson with me or click the link to book a class. These simple strategies can be applied to other types of social media like LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. I recommend finding out which platform your target students use the most and targeting that platform. Another powerful tool that is free is word of mouth. Surprisingly, I got most of my online ESL students through word of mouth. Reach out to your former students and ask if they know anyone who would enjoy your classes or offer a discount to current students if they refer a friend. At this point, you've found your first students. Congratulations. But how can they pay you? When I first started as a freelance online ESL teacher, I had my students pay me through bank transfer if they were local students and through PayPal, but now I prefer to use Stripe. It's really going to depend on where you are located and where your students are located, because a lot of these things like PayPal and Stripe and even bank transfers do have fees, so you need to do your research and see which one is going to have the lowest fees for you. I recommend having students purchase classes in packages, for example, 10 classes or 20 or 50, and offering a bit of a discount as they purchase more and more classes. This will help you determine your schedule so you know how many classes you have with each student or how many weeks you have. I do recommend also that they pay upfront, or maybe they pay each month, and that way you're not going to be chasing your students for missed payments. Another thing that's really important to consider is, what is your refund policy? So if you miss a class or your student misses a class, what happens? Make sure that you have this in writing and it's an agreement that your student can sign. Once you've been teaching for a while and you're ready to invest in your business a little bit more and simplify your systems, then I recommend looking at LearnCube's Online School Lite. This is an all-in-one system including payment gateways, an optional curriculum, and scheduling tools, plus a pretty cool digital whiteboard for independent online teachers. If you'd like to learn how LearnCube works, then you can check out this video next. I hope this video shows you how to get started as a freelance online ESL teacher. You can finally charge your worth, you can finally set your schedule and get that life of freedom and pay that you deserve. I absolutely love teaching online, and if you need any help getting started, I do offer one-on-one coaching to help online ESL teachers. What questions do you have about teaching online as a freelancer? Leave a comment down below. If you want to learn some tips for teaching kids online, then you can check out this video next. Happy teaching!